Good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday to you. I had to think like, well, what day of the week is it? It is Wednesday. So we are rocking and rolling this morning. Going to get in here and talk about a few things today. And matter of fact, I need to update my list of things. Good morning to you. How are you? What's up, Dax? How you doing? Good to see everybody. Hey, Shirley. Um, let's see. What's up, MG Brock? Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, yeah. So I'm ready to have this conversation today. Yes. Good morning again. Hey. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Mel Gray. Hey, Sarah. What's up, Chris? Conchita. Oh, it went really, really fast. Hi to everybody that I know that I just missed because it went. And so, yeah, that's going to be that. If you are watching me anywhere other than the tick of the talk, please make sure that you say hello in the comments because I will not be able to see that you've joined unless you do that. So say hello and I will greet you back unless you're on Substack. Substack, I cannot see your comments. So just know that I love you and I appreciate you being here. Good morning, Hilda. Good morning, Macon. Right, Conchita. Yay, Virginia. We're going to talk about that too. And just how much ketchup and mustard I can imagine is all over the walls. I would imagine the staff is still cleaning it up. Good morning, Jen. Thank you, Farah. I appreciate that. Yeah, because it's already happening. I got it. So we have a lot to talk about today. So I need you guys to help me stay on track because when I say I have a lot. And I have a hard stop at 1 p.m. today. Okay. So I just want to make sure that I get everything in. So yes, Sassy, you did. I was on with Steve for just a brief minute over on Facts this morning. Okay. So I want to talk about Virginia. I want to talk about Todd Blanche and the Southern Poverty Law Center. Good morning, Irvette. I want to talk about Kash Patel and his press thing yesterday, talking about drinking on the job. I also have to talk about Iran today. And I also want to talk about some more history around Iran and the time period. Good morning, Cam, when people believed that Iranians had so much freedom under the Shah, who we helped install. So I do want to talk about that. So we're going to kind of build on that information that we've been talking about in the last little bit. Yeah, I know that she resigned. Jane Ice. Yep. And I'm not really as concerned about those types of things because there's been a slew of them on every side of whatever, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think what else. What else? I think those are like the high points. Good morning, Rachel. So I think those are the high points. Try to keep me on track. That would be amazing. Good morning, Marilyn. Good to see you. And so good morning, Witch. Good to see you too. So I'm excited to dive into things. Give me 1 second. I forgot to get my drink out of the fridge. One sec. Sorry, guys. I did forget. Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm back, and now I'm ready. And no, my dear, I don't want to co-host with you. Good morning, Slim Shady. Happy hump day to everybody. Hope everybody is doing okay. Everybody breathing a little bit better today. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, Chew, I am. Yes. Yeah. How could you tell? Cash is weird, Stephanie. Stephanie said Cash Patel's press conference was weird. Cash is weird. So, like, you know what I mean? Those two things kind of go to bed together. So really excited. So after last night's Project for the People meeting, I'm really excited. We had some people that were able to see that they were geographically close to each other. So there are people that are coordinating, getting together, and having their days of actions and weekends of action and things like that. And so really incredibly excited about that, and to look forward to what we're going to be able to do over the next 6-7 months, right? So it's fantastic, and I'm really excited about it. So hopefully you guys are too. If you don't know what Project for the People is about, we will talk about that in a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's see. Cheech Israel. What a weird name. Because when I hear Cheech, I think Cheech and Chong, and Cheech and Chong is for me like a weird association with Israel. But do you? Do you? If that's the name you want. It just was kind of. It made. Did you see the puzzled look on my face? I was like, Cheech Israel. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was just 420, so you know what I mean. I did. It says Cheech. It says Cheech Israel. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm just saying that what I saw was Cheech Israel. I know. I'm just telling you what I saw when I read it. But anyway, okay. So folks, let's get these things on and popping, okay? Because we do have a lot to talk about today, right? Yeah, I know. All right. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about Virginia. You guys want to start with Virginia today? So for those of you all who I don't smoke, Cheech. For those of you all who are not familiar and why there's a lot of excitement around Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia voted yesterday to approve the redistricting map. And so what that will do is that will bring about four additional houses, 4 additional seats for the House, and they will most likely lean Democratic due to the drawing of that map. And one of the things that was really interesting about this is, so here's just my take on it, right? I think that when this started in Texas, right, with Trump, asking Texas to redistrict and all of that, I think that what the Republican Party was counting on was, oh yeah, no, I know what 6-7 is, Marilyn. I know what that is. But I think that what they didn't count on was Democratic states or purple states doing the same thing. Now, what I will say about, for example, California and Virginia is they actually put it on the ballot and they let people vote for it, right? Which is not true in Texas, right? It wasn't a measure that people got to vote on. And so what's amazing is that in the Democratic states that have redone maps and things like that, it was the people that decided. It was the people that voted and said, yes, we want to redistrict. Yes, we want to redefine our lines. And so I think that this is something that the Republican Party could never envision that the Democratic Party would do, right? And that Democratic states would do, Democratic states, blue states, right? Or people that are perceived as blue states. Good morning, Delingo. Right, but it was determined by the people, right? And so I think that that's, it's funny, all the people that were so excited when Texas was doing it does not feel the same when California did it and when Virginia did it. Good morning, Chuckia. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so the thing that so how we've oftentimes talked about Democrats needing to play hardball with the Republican Party. Good morning, handpicked, right? And so what I want progressives to play hardball. I also don't want Democrats to lose integrity in order to do it. So what I love very much about the way that it's being done is that it's being put before the people and the people are voting for it. The people are choosing it. It's not just the state legislature choosing it. It's not the administration that's choosing it. It is the state, right? And so I love that. You know what I mean? That's the part that I like most about it, is that it's the people that are choosing it. Good morning, Rudin, right? And so people that, people that would have a hard time with it, or people that are not happy about it, Yes, your state did stand up, and I'm extremely excited about it. Extremely excited about it. So, if people are upset about it, I guess my question to you would be, why are you mad? Like, I literally just want to put a sign up today for everybody that's mad about Virginia and just go, you mad? With a question mark. Just, you mad? Why you mad, bro? Because, it just is what it is. I'm just right, Shawnee. Because the people voted for this, right? The people chose this. Good morning, Amy. And, I am, I think that what people, right, it feels right when the people choose, correct? Because normally, here's what happens. Normally, it is your state legislature that gerrymanders the fuck out of your maps, right? It is your state legislature that determines how your seats get assigned and doing all of those things, and you don't have a say. In Virginia, the people had a say, and if the people didn't want it, the people didn't have to choose it, but they chose it. And that's what's amazing about the outcome in Virginia. Right, Rebel. And it also demonstrates just how important and how powerful every single vote is. Good morning, Rando Brando. Right? Every single vote absolutely matters in primaries, for constitutional amendments, for all the things, right? In Texas, the man that bought Zero Ranch, whose wife is a Walton of Walmart, is running. Really? Yeah. So, Kevin, I'm not sure what you're responding to. Right. Put redistricting to a vote. California and Virginia did. Right. I just don't think that the Republican Party imagined that Dems were going to join the fight. Right. I just don't think that's, I think they were counting on the passive Dems that have been, you know what, Shawnee, I would have to look it up to be sure. Right. But hold on one second. Let me do it real quick. Why can't I spell this morning? All right. So I don't want that one. Why are you doing that? Oh, because that's what I typed. Sweet baby Jesus. I said, why are you giving me that result? Because, girl, that's what you typed. Have I recovered from yesterday? I have. Redistricting. So this is actually a constitutional amendment. So this was a constitutional amendment that allows mid-decade congressional redistricting. So that's what this was. This was actually a constitutional amendment. So not really sure what anybody's going to be able to do about it. So this constitutional amendment provides that the Virginia Redistricting Commission will redraw congressional districts in 2031. So this was a vote to say yes. And there you go. And it's a constitutional amendment. So I'm not really sure how anybody's going to be able to do anything about it. You know what I mean? So good morning, Hamza. Thanks, Sassy. Appreciate that. Let me make sure I can see y'all's comments over here. Okay. So yeah, Kevin, I didn't see that you responded to me. But I'm not sure what you're referencing when you say if you're going to be angry with everyone that has a different opinion than yours, it's going to be a terrible life. I don't know that anybody's been angry this morning about different opinions, but feel free to chime in if you want to provide clarity around that. Yes, we love that. 100%. So extremely good job, Virginia, and happy Earth Day today. Absolutely. Which Happy Earth Day. Could we learn to like appreciate the planet that we have and understand that resources are not infinite? And and we shouldn't be making things like water a damn commodity and a place for private investments and vulture capitalism. You know what I mean? Let's just not do that, right? So just saying, recycle today. And not just recycle, but literally kind of like just be better. Don't just do better, be better. Because if you be better, you'll do better. You know what I mean? I think sometimes people will do better and they'll do better like once or twice and feel good about themselves and then do whatever, right? And so, right, hug a tree, sit beside one, go listen to the birds, do something, appreciate what is around you, right? Because we get a lot from this old earth of ours, especially the air that you breathe. You get it from them trees, at least the clean version of it, right? Okay, so yes, pick up some trash, all the things. So I want to. I'm trying to see where I want to go first. Let's go ahead and just recap where we are in terms of Iran, in terms of the United States of America, in terms of Israel and Lebanon and all of those things. It is a great day to plant a tree. It's always a good day to plant a tree, right? It's always a good day to plant a tree, 100%. Just, a reminder, throwing that out there. All right. So, happy birthday to your daughter. Happy birthday. Oh, you missed last night's meeting. Yes, you will be able to watch it. So there will be an email that goes out later today that has a link to the Project for the People meeting last night, the recording for it. That will be there. Along with some other information. Ja, I got your voice messages and then ran out of time to reply to you, but I appreciate you, friend. Love you, mean it. All right. So Nora has gymnastics. I got you. Love that for that. I want to get Mila into tumbling. I really do. So I got to figure that. I got to figure that out. Okay. So are you ready to dive in today? Oh, yay. I love that. I love that you got merch too. I don't know about you all, but I feel lighter today. My girls did that. Yeah. Mila would be a great tumbler, 100% all day long. Okay, so listen, I have to tell you this. Today is like sports team day at Bella's school today, and Bella's not into like the sports thing and all of that, right? So today I put her on her roomy K-pop Demon Hunter shirt, and I said, "Girl, you could be team K-pop today. You are team K-pop Demon Hunters today." And she just smiled and she loved it. So, you didn't say sports team, you just said team gear. She's team K-pop Demon Hunters. So just in case you didn't know. Hello, Pin 1010. I was at an extra 10. Do you notice that? I go Pin. No, I didn't. I said Pin 1010. Okay, it just sounds like it. Right. Yay, you voted yesterday in Virginia. We love that. So listen, this is something that we should all be doing. We should be checking our voter registration. We should be making sure that everything is up to date, having everything in place. Do not wait until the end of October to try to get your shit together. Be ready for November in August, and then stay ready for November, right? Hey, Michelle, good to see you. All right, so let's dive in. Something that I saw right before I went live that I want to make sure that folks are aware of, because what's the saying? Shit just got real. Shit just got real. So Iran says it has. So, hey, Cuban, please don't I'm going to mute you for just a second. Okay. So listen, folks, I only have 4 guidelines for my space, and I apologize for not going over them at the beginning. Okay. So I only have 4 guidelines for this space. The first one is, be respectful, right? Period. Just be respectful. Number 2, do not use slurs of any kind. I don't care who they are against, right? I don't care if you're using a slur against the Trump administration. If you use a slur, you will be muted and booted from this live. Okay. Third, don't spam my comments. What does that mean? It means don't say the same thing over and over again. Say it once, maybe say it twice, but do not say the same thing over and over again. It clogs up my comments, my chat. People can't see what needs to be said, and it's bad for the algorithm. Okay. And then last but not least, and this sounds weird, but listen to why I asked for this. Do not type in all caps. All caps are reserved for my moderators, but they're also reserved for my folks that are vision impaired. Okay. I have folks that are vision impaired, and so all caps are reserved for them. James Jobble, Sharia actually means law. I don't know if you know that or not, but when you ask me, do I support Sharia law? You're asking me, do I support law? Right? So I think from that, just from that question, what I would ask you is, what do you know about Sharia law? Because just like the way that you ask me, it makes me think that you don't know a lot about Sharia law. You're welcome. Jay Nice, did you mean to request up? I wanted to double check. You are never in my queue. So I wanted to request up. I wanted to double check in case you wanted to join. Jay Owen, let me know, my friend. Nice semantic shield. No, it's called nice, accurate information. That's what it means. No, not you. Jay Owen, not Jay Nice. Buenos dias, Mr. Barrios. Bless it. Some of y'all struggling. No, it's called accurate information. That's not a semantic shield. It's called accurate information. Right? Why are you mad? Because I know what the word means and you don't? Yeah. And just because you say period, don't mean that's the end. Just sharing that with you as well. Okay. All right. So shit just got real. For those of you all who do not know, Iran says that they have seized 2 ships in the strait, and that those ships have been transferred to their coast. This is, I think, good morning, Amy. I think that people might want to pay attention to this, right? Yeah, invisible string. Well, damn, exactly. That was my thought when I saw it. I said, "Oh shit!" Right? Yes, hooray for Virginia. We love that. So let me just kind of tell you what we know about that so far. It said I want to check this other site too. Okay, I gotta check 2 different sites. Yeah, 100%. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's not going to be good. Okay. Shit. There's too much. So let me just tell you, Iran is saying unequivocally they are willing to negotiate, but they are not going to negotiate until the blockade is removed. Period. They're not willing to do that. I am not seeing any information about who the ships belong to yet. All I know is that it says that the Iran's IRGC says that it has captured 2 vessels, quote unquote, for disrupting order and safety. So this is what they said. They said, quote, it has captured 2 vessels for, quote, disrupting order and safety in the Strait of Hormuz. That is what the state media reported. And so we're just waiting for additional information to come from them. Yeah. And I don't know why, and people should not be surprised by this, right? They said, we're not playing. They said we will retaliate. They have, said what they got to say. And this should not be a difficult thing for people to really understand. Where are women's rights in the Middle East? I would say they're in the Middle East. Sure. Yeah. You do realize that the United States of America isn't friendly to women either. We just do it in different ways. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, so Bradley, I don't know where they're getting that from or if they are in fact. So I'm just going to wait until I get cuz the Guardian is not saying that and Al Jazeera is not saying that. So I'm just going to kind of wait and see what they say, right? Sean Strickland, it's not, and if you keep spamming the comments, you'll get muted, right? Not because you don't like what I'm saying, but because you're saying the same thing over and over again. Okay? Because I already went over the guidelines and they're at the top as well. It's fine that you requested. Just because you requested doesn't mean you're coming up right this second. I have things that I'm going over before I open my panel. That's it. Right? Like, you can have something to say, folks, but I will get to you when I get to you. That's fine that you requested. Good morning, Veronica. Good to see you. Hey, Lori. Good morning. All right. So, a couple of things that I think that, and I always do this. So let's check and see what the president is saying this morning, right? Because that is one of the things that we do in the morning is just to see what the president is saying, right? So this is a long one, and it was just up at 9:41. All right. So at 9:41 this morning, the president of the United States said, and I'm going to read and quote, "How can the Democrats not like how the US Supreme Court votes? The Democrat justices stick together like glue, never failing to wander from the warped and perverse policies, ideas, and cases put before them. They quote unquote always vote as a group or block even that new low IQ person that somehow found her way to the bench." And then in parentheses, Sleepy Joe. The Republican justices don't stick together. They give the Democrats win after win, like a $159 billion pile of cash on a completely ridiculous tariff decision and nasty one-sided questions on the country-destroying subject of birthright citizenship, something which virtually no other country in the world is stupid enough to allow. It was meant for the babies of slaves, not for the babies of Chinese billionaires. No certain quote unquote Republican justices have just gone weak, stupid, and bad, completely violating what they quote unquote supposedly stood for, handing over $159 billion. So he's really pissed. He's really pissed about the court cases now where they have to send that money back to corporations and back to states, right? So he says, hold on, handing over $159 billion in tariff refunds to people who have been ripping off our country for years is unexplainable. One little sentence would have, he means stopped, but he's spelled it stoped. So and I'm reading what he is saying. He says, one little sentence would have stoped this record-setting payment from having to be made. It is a travesty. Their tariff decision was an unnecessary and expensive slap in the face to the USA and a giant victory for its opponents. If they rule against our country on birthright citizenship, which they probably will, it will be even worse if that's possible. It will cost America massive amounts of money, but more importantly, it will cost America its dignity. No, the radical left Democrats don't need to, quote unquote, pack the court. It's already packed. President Donald J. Trump. So that's what he has said this morning at 9:41. And I'm going to see if there's anything else that he has said that's directly him and not posting videos. Okay, so 10 hours ago, he wrote, quote, Iran is collapsing financially. They want the Strait of Hormuz opened immediately, starving for cash, losing $500 million a day, military and police complaining that they are not getting paid. SOS. Yeah. And I think that's about it. Yeah. Those are the things that he has said in the last little bit, in the last 12 hours or so. And there you go. Here's what I would say is I think what would be really, really good for the American people, right, is to know a little bit about the history of Iran, right? Um, because the history of Iran will tell you that not only have they survived for thousands upon thousands of years, right? Regardless of what has happened in their country, right? Even if they've been taken over at some point, even if there have been changes in regime, one of the things that has stayed is their culture, their traditions, their language, their practices. Um, this is what's different than a lot of other countries, right? When a lot of other countries are taken over by an outside country, they tend to take on the rhetoric, the language, the customs, and the traditions of the occupying country, right? Um, well, so Huckleberry, it's important to note that history is history. So being Islamic is also part of their history. And they have still maintained their language. They have still maintained their tradition and their customs, right? So Islam becoming the religion doesn't mean anything else. The rest of who they were as a people still exists, right? What they do is they write the Persian language in Arabic letters. So their language has remained the same. They just write it in Arabic letters, which is different because Arabic is a completely different type of language. So I think it's really important for people to understand this. Um, And yes, Teresa, you guys did do it in Virginia. Yeah, Sean, it doesn't matter whether Islam is, well, Islam didn't become a religion. Islam has always been a religion. It just became the religion of the Iranian people. That's what we're referring to. So Islam has always been a religion. Well, I mean, you can have the opinion that it does. Right. Farsi is their language. So, just so that everyone understands, okay, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity are all part of the Abrahamic religions. So, do you all understand that? Islam, Judaism, and Christianity are all three Abrahamic religions. So they all acknowledge and they come from the descendants of Abraham. They're all three Abrahamic religions. Okay. Now, out of those three, the only one that acknowledges the other two as legitimate is Islam. Islam is the only one that acknowledges and respects Judaism. Islam is the only one that acknowledges and respects Christianity. Christianity says that anything other than Christianity means you're going to hell. So does Judaism do, but they got levels of hell. Okay. Like according to, I'm just saying, just so everybody is clear. So if you don't like Islam, you are literally against part of what Christians believe. Right, Sean, but they don't deny the existence of Christianity. They believe that Jesus was a prophet, right? Now, and there's different types of Judaism, right? But traditional Orthodox Jews believe that Jesus actually led people away from God And Orthodox Jews believe that Jesus is sitting in the seventh level of hell in boiling feces. In case you didn't know. Okie doke. Yeah. Yes, that's a thing. So let me see if I can pull it up for you really quick. Jesus led people away, away from God, and is in the seventh level of hell in boiling feces. Yeah. So it's the Talmudic passage, right? That's what it's part of. And let me see if I can give you, I don't want a video to tell you about it. Just Google it. Talmud, that's the Talmud, right? And it believes that Jesus took people away from God, and that because he was leading people away from God, Talmud, right? He is in the seventh level of hell and is in burning feces, hot, hot, boiling feces, feces. So yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Yeah. So it's interesting what people do and don't know about the three Abrahamic religions. Or I literally, it's Orthodox Jews. So do you understand that there's different Judaism? There's different Judaism. It's not the same. The same way that there's not like one Christian religion, the same way there's a bajillion denominations for Christianity, right? There's a difference when it comes to Judaism. Okay. Yeah, they all believe that Jesus was real, and so like Judaism and Islam, they believe that Jesus was real. They believe that Jesus was a prophet. Islam even believes that Jesus will return, but what they just don't believe is, yeah, they just don't believe that he's God. That's all. So the thing that people really ought to know is that every religion, not, let me not say that, not every, but most religions have people that have used passages and made them become extremist, right? Christianity has been used in extreme forms to cause great harm to people, right? Christianity was used in the Crusades. Christianity was used in chattel slavery. Christianity was used in conversion therapy, where literally they tortured folks, right? So Christianity has also been used in vile acts against people, right? So any person can take a religion and use it in a horrible way. That does not mean that that is the entirety of the religion. Okay? So it's not, so the same way that social media is not inherently bad, it's about the human beings that use the tool. It's about the human beings. You can get on social media and you can use it to do extreme good and massive amounts of good and be incredibly like wonderful and put out good with it. The same thing with money, right? You can have a lot of money and do incredible things with it. That's why the Bible doesn't say that money is the root of all evil. The Bible says what? The love of money is the root of all evil. It is about what you do with the thing that you've been given. It's about what you do with your belief. And so what you do is not a demonstration of the religion itself. It's a testimony of who you are. Right? It is a testimony of who you are as a person. And so that's the thing that people really need to grasp a hold of. It's easy to blame a religion for the acts of a person, but it's at the end of the day, it is the person. Because the same religion exists for everyone, and everyone in that religion does not practice it that way. So, what we must never do is judge an entire religion by the acts of a person or a group of people. Because if we did that, the vast majority of religions would be demonized and said are absolutely horrible, no matter how much good they did. Right? And so that just doesn't make sense to do. And when you do that, it is your prejudice that makes you do that. It is your prejudice that makes you do that. So I don't care what faith or religion you practice unless your faith is now weaponized to infringe upon my rights or anybody else's rights. If you can believe whatever, you can believe that Kermit the Frog is coming back to save the entire world. And I don't care unless you want to put a book about Kermit the Frog saving the world in the schools. Or unless you want to make a law that says we all have to pray to Kermit the Frog. That's the only time I care. You get it? Your faith is your business. But what I am so tired of human beings doing, I am so tired of human beings blaming everything except themselves for the shit they do. That's what I'm so tired of. I am tired of human beings blaming everything except who they are for what they do. It's not the religion that makes you be who you are. It's not the TV that makes you be who you are. It's not the social media that makes you be who you are. It's who you are. It is who you choose to be. And nobody is in control of that, beloved, except you. You are the only person responsible for that. And it is not comfortable, but growth rarely is. So you get to choose who you desire to be in this life. I know who I choose to be every single day. Right? And by the way, religion and faith isn't just about denominations and Islam and Judaism and Wiccan and whatever. You can, whatever you are worshiping in your life, that is your religion. For some of you all, your religion is white nationalism. For some of you, your religion is money and greed. For some of you, your religion is hatred, because that's what you practice. That's what you put your faith in. Religions are man-made. So choose how you show up. You're the one responsible for you. It's not that difficult. So things that I don't do in this space and things that I don't let people do it, right? I don't do in this space, I don't do any of the phobias or any of the isms. If you come in this space with Islamophobia, I'm going to set you straight, because Islam is not the problem. If you come in this space with transphobia, I'm going to set you straight because trans people are not the problem. If you come in this space, right, with let me see, with your sexism or your misogyny, I'm going to put you in check. Hey, Wawa, I don't do those things. You need to examine your own bigotry. You need to examine your own prejudice. So, if that's hard for you to understand, then maybe you should, if it's, listen, have a little talk with Jesus if that's what you need to do. Like, seriously, who do you choose to be? Yeah, so let me just tell you, you see, as soon as I said it's about who you choose to be, you see, oh boy left, right? As soon as I went down the path of it's not about the religion, it's about you as a person. It's about how you show up. It's about who you choose to be. You saw Mr. I requested dipped. They ain't up in that damn request box no more. Why? Because I'm not here for fuckery. I'm not here for dumb arguments that don't have any substance. I'm not here to argue with you about what you think about Democrats or Republicans. I don't give a damn what you think about Democrats and Republicans. What I want to know is, what do you think about the policies that are actually impacting the lives of the people? What do you think? What do you think about an administration that would go all the way to the Supreme Court fighting to not feed people? What do you think about that? Good morning, Georgia. I'm glad you are outside. You are out of the hospital. Hope you're recovering well. Right? What do you think about that? Because I think it's horrible. In no way should, and let me tell you something. If you are busy trying to demonize or shame poor people or working class people because they expect for their government to subsidize them or to help take care of them, get the fuck out of my face with that, because you do not say that to billionaires with countries, do you? With corporations. You like it when corporations ask your government for tax breaks so they'll come into your community. You like that, don't you? That means you have a problem with money. That means you place money and profits above people. Period. And you don't say anything when those same corporations don't pay a living wage, and then the people that work at those corporations still need government assistance. Why does someone that works still need government assistance? Why is that a thing? Because the jobs don't pay a living wage. Sean, ain't nobody talking about Kamala Harris. What's wrong with you? Who is talking about Kamala Harris? Because nobody in here is talking about her. She's not in Congress. She's not in the administration. I give a good damn. She's on a book tour. If you want to go talk about Kamala Harris, go to a book tour. Good Lord. Y'all are wild. Y'all wild as hell. Kamala Harris is a fraud. What? I swear, it's amazing to me. Yeah, shall not be infringed ain't coming up here. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, I'm happy to do it. Give me 1 second. I'm happy to do it. Let me find them so I can do that. Let's see. I'm literally trying to find them. Oh, there you are. So, shall not be infringed. I sent you a request to join the panel. Would you like to come up? I think shall not be infringed is a bot. Right. I think shall not be infringed is a bot, but what do I know? Sean, I told you, I see you. Shall not be requested. Mr. Barrios, you are hilarious. See, it's a bot. She's still typing the same shit. Shall not be infringed as a bot. That's one of them pro-Israel bots. So, all right. So, let me just see if there's anything else over here from the president. No, there's nothing new from the president yet. And I'm just checking to see if there's been any other updates over here about the ships. I think that something that, and we've talked about this before, the United States of America has a difficult time really understanding the dedication and the fortitude of the Iranian people, because you just don't know the history of the country, of the people, and everything that they have survived, right? They always rebuild, they always come back, and they always maintain their identity. Good morning, James. So that's the recap over there. There's no other update on that, so no need to spend a lot of time there. Okay. Oh, that one I went ahead and blocked. Lori, I just blocked the bot. That's all I did. All right, so here's what I'm going to do before I bring, thank you, Samo. Before I bring anybody up to the panel, I'm going to go over the guidelines one more time. Be respectful. Don't use slurs, right? Don't spam the comments, and don't type in all caps. All right. So when I bring you up, and I'm gonna share this with you so that you understand the way that it works. When I bring you up to this panel, put yourself on mute until I get to you. Okay. I'm going to say that part again. When I bring you up to this panel, put yourself on mute before I get to you. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Well, okay. Right, Lori, exactly. That part. Good morning, Chef Ryan. Did we see you yesterday or no? I don't think so. I think we missed you. All right. Okay, so y'all, we're going to mods remind me. Make sure that you guys remind me to get to both some info on Israel. I got you, Chef Ryan. And Todd Blanche and Cash and the Savak. I need to get ready. I need to do all of those things. Sarah, I got it. No worries. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Good.
Okay. So what did you want to share this morning? Hey,
Yeah,
Wes.
I wanted to go over what you were talking about earlier with the Islam, Judaism, and Christianity.
Okay, what about it?
Well, you had mentioned like you were kind of talking about how Israel, or not Israel, Islam acknowledges Jesus as a prophet, but what I would also say is that religion also invokes, and I'm Christian, but they invoke violence. Muhammad dated, 9-year-old girls. They invoke violence. They say that if you're, previously Islam, a part of the Muslim faith, and you leave the Muslim faith, you deserve you're going to get killed, etc. So they invoke violence in the religion.
So, Sean, let me ask you a question. Have you read the Quran?
Not the full Quran. It even says you can hit your wife too.
Sean, don't talk to I'm asking you a question. Have you read the Quran?
I haven't read the full Quran now.
Okay, awesome. So,
Have you?
would you and I agree that you can take a scripture out of context, even from the Bible, and misrepresent the meaning of it?
It doesn't take away from the fact that
Nope. Sean, hold on. I ask a question. And so the way that you respond to that is by answering the question. Right? So the question was, do you agree that you can take a scripture, even out of the Bible, and misrepresent the meaning of the scripture?
How can you misrepresent,
I'm asking this is a yes or no question. So do you agree that you can take a scripture out of even the Bible, out of context, and misrepresent its meaning?
Sure.
Great. All right. So would it be fair to say, since you have not read the Quran, that the things that you are citing, you would not have the context of any mention?
Did Muhammad not?
I'm asking Sean, would it be fair to say that since you have not read the context around any of the things that you said in the Quran, that you don't really know the accuracy of what you're saying?
I know the accuracy because what I'm saying
Sean,
is you can't prove it's not true.
Sean, this is the question that I'm asking you, and try to listen.
Can you prove me wrong?
So listen, Sean, I don't do prove me wrong, bro things here. Okay. This is the question that I'm asking you, Sean. Okay. Because you came in here and you made several claims. And then you said, please stop interrupting me, because the first thing that I ask is for you to be respectful.
I'm not being disrespectful.
You are if you interrupt me.
Okay, well.
Right. Thank you. So,
you're saying
so I just said to you, don't interrupt me again. Thank you. So again, you came in and you made all of these claims about Islam, and then you admitted that you have not read the Quran, right? So my question to you is, would it be fair to say, since you have not read the Quran and the context around any of the claims that you made, you cannot be certain of the accuracy of the things that you're saying?
Hold on a second. You just pulled out verses of the Talmud, one verse, and then you.
No, I didn't. I didn't quote a verse. I didn't quote a verse.
You said Gidika 4:5, whatever it is.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said that they believe the Orthodox.
Did I say 4:5 anything? No, I didn't. So, Sean, this is the question that I'm asking you.
That's the verse in the Talmud.
So the question that I'm asking you is very simple, right? And I literally did say Google it. So again, the question that I'm asking you is, if you pull a verse out of the Bible or whatever, you have agreed that it can be misrepresented. So the question that I'm asking you, Sean, specifically about you, is, since you have said you have not read the Quran, you don't know the context of any of the claims that you've made to know the accuracy of them.
I would. Like when I say that Muhammad, had sex with 9-year-old girls, that's completely correct. You can't refute that.
Sean, this is the question that I'm asking you. and really pay attention to the question, because I'm not asking you. I'm asking you very simple. Listen to what I'm saying. This is the question that I'm asking you. Is, since you have said you have not read the Quran, right? That means that you cannot be certain of the accuracy of the context of any of the things in which you claimed.
He's a false prophet.
Did you, Sean, answer the question?
If I haven't read the full, that doesn't take away.
Have you read the context? Have you read a full chapter around what you said? Okay, so give me the chapter in the Quran that you read.
Yeah, on the verse on you're allowed to, beat your wife.
Nope. Sean, nope. You give me the verse. You read the whole chapter. So can you tell me the context of the chapter? Go ahead. Just tell me. Nope. Hold on.
Are you saying that I'm wrong?
So I'm asking you to tell me what the entire chapter says. In what context does it talk about having sex with a 9-year-old? In what context? Tell me about it. What happened? Sean, I am asking you. Sean, listen. And you just interrupted me again. So what I am asking you to do is for you to provide me a summary of the chapter.
Okay, well, let me scroll up and give it to you, because you're.
No, I don't want you to scroll up. You told me you read the whole chapter. So I want you to summarize the chapter for me.
So you're saying Muhammad didn't?
I ask you to summarize the chapter for me.
Like, being so disingenuous.
Sean, answer the question? Sean, answer the question. Summarize the chapter.
No, why don't you just listen to what I have to say?
Sean, you don't run this live. You don't. No, you don't. And so, Sean, let me be clear. Okay. Let me be really clear. Answer the question.
Are you Muslim?
Answer the question.
What are you?
I would like for you to summarize the chapter.
You're just being disingenuous.
Sean, summarize the chapter.
No, this is
summarize the chapter.
Thing. It's not even a conspiracy theory.
Summarize the chapter, Sean. Summarize the chapter.
Islam.
Sean, summarize the chapter.
Islam was a violent,
you can't do it, can you?
Religion.
You can't. Summarize the chapter.
Okay, and if I summarize it, then what?
Summarize the chapter.
And then what?
Summarize the chapter.
So then what happens after?
Well, summarize it and find out.
Well, it's just dumb.
Summarize the chapter.
There's no context to having sex with 9-year-old girls.
Summarize the chapter.
Is there a context to having sex with 9-year-old girls?
Summarize. Sure there is. Of course there's a context. It will tell you under what circumstances people met and where it happened and what it says. So there's context to everything. There's context to everything. Sean, context is not context. Okay, because context is everything.
No, it's not.
It is. So do you know what context means? Do you know what context means?
So you saying it's okay?
Do you know what context means? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm aware of what context.
Okay, so tell me what context means then.
There's no context.
Tell me what context means.
Okay. The fact that you're defending that is...
I asked you, what does context mean?
And the fact that the comments defend you is...
I asked you a question, Sean. That's what I thought. He left. I didn't boot him, by the way. I didn't boot him. He left. So one of the things that is really important for people to know, okay? So he wanted me to take the bait. You got it? He wanted me to get into a debate with him, right? He wanted me to take the bait and the things that he said. I'm not doing that. I'm going to hold him to the things that he claimed. Right? That's what I'm going to do. Right? Right? So when you say there's no context for that, there's context for everything. Literally, words without context have no meaning. Right? And so he wanted me to be offended when he said, "Are you Muslim?" I'm not going to be offended by that. You can ask whatever you want to say. You can ask whatever you would like to say. Right? So it's really important that people understand those types of things. Okay. And one of the things that I want you guys to stop doing is getting upset at the dumb shit they say. That's what I want you to do. Stop getting upset at the dumb shit they say. Meet them where they are. Meet them where they are. You see how I don't have to debate that with him? I'm not debating what it says. I started the conversation out by saying, what? Have you read the Quran? That was my first question. And why did I ask that question? Because I know he has not. Because I know he has not. Therefore, he can't tell me what the Quran does or doesn't say. All he can do is regurgitate things that he's seen and heard on social media or on the internet. That's all he can do. Right? And so that's all you have to do is, okay, so have you read the Quran? Oh, you have? Okay, can you share with me what the Bible says, what the Quran says about that? And they're not going to be able to tell you because they haven't read the Quran. Good morning, Noble Christopher from South Kakalaki. Right? They want the responses that you guys gave. They want to see you all have these extreme emotional responses to the dumb shit they say. Well, make up your mind, 1910 Democrat. Was she 6? Was she 9? Like he said 9, you say 6. Neither one of you have read the Quran. And by the way, for those of you all that do not know, in the United States of America, there are 34 states that still allow child marriage. In the United States of America today, 6, 7. In the United States today, there are 34 states that still allow child marriage. And there are 2 to 3 states in this country that do not even provide an age, a minimum age in which to get married. Okay? Just so that we're clear. Bailey, I showed a map yesterday or the day before. I don't even know that I still have the map up. I'm looking real quick, you guys, to see if I have. And for those of you guys, in case you're wondering, for those of you guys who are upset about what happens to LGBTQIA individuals in Iran, there are 10 countries that have the death penalty for being part of the LGBTQ community. 10 countries, some of them in which we are friends with. We even have military bases in some of them. We're not bombing them, though, because they do what we want. I don't think I still have it up. Oh, wait, was that it? I do still have it up. Look at that. So I will show you all, since I do still have it up. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So here you go. Hey, Tom. So this is the map. The what is in purple means that they have strong laws against child marriage. The blue, the bright blue right here, the deep blue, means that they have weak laws, right, that limit child marriage. And let me see. Let me see. Yeah. So in red states, there's no minimum age to get married. In orange, you can get married at 15. In purple, you can get married at 16. Sorry, it's doing that weird thing that I don't want it to do. At light blue, you can get married at 17. And in dark blue, you can get married at 18. So, yeah. And there's more maps than just this one. I had another one up that shows you the laws too. Did I already go past that one? Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, just for people that don't know. So those are real things. Yeah, so many people are worried about what happens in other countries, but don't want to take a look at what's happening right here in our own country. Again, because you want to blame everything on everybody else and not take responsibility but for who we are in this country, which is wild to me. Right? It's really, really wild. Okay. Let's take a look. Did what's her face ever find her way? The bot or anybody else? I don't think so. Okay. I didn't see so. I didn't think so. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, listen, y'all, the Bible is full of things. The Bible, I mean, there's literally a scripture where Jesus says, bring the non-believers in front of me and beat them in front of me. Yeah, Lori, I'm going to put it in my link tree so that you guys can look it up. Okay. Give me 1 second. It's funny. So can I just be clear? The Quran actually never gives an age, just so everybody is clear about that. And depending upon what researchers and historians you listen to, some of them have put her age between 17 to 19, right? So again, it's a historical debate. And for me, that's not really what I'm interested in. Yeah, the Bible had lots of incest. But here's my thing. That's not the debate that I want to have. And I damn sure don't want to have that debate with anybody in the United States of America, right? I'm really not. I am not going to debate with you about whatever Muhammad did however many thousands of years ago, especially if you voted for a sexual predator in 2024. Like, if you voted for a sexual predator in 2024, you can't say anything to me about anything that anybody else did where it comes to women. Yeah, not doing it. Don't act like you give a damn about women, because you don't. You don't care about women. You don't care about the women in Iran. You don't care about the women in the United States of America. You don't care about women. So it's just fake bullshit to justify the things that you support now. That's all it is. It is fake bullshit to justify your bigotry, to be quite frank. I'll just name the thing. Right? I don't need the context. It wasn't my claim. I asked him for the context. I don't need the context. It's not my subject matter, right? You don't see the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad anywhere on my prompt, do you? Nope, you don't. Yeah. So I really want folks to understand something, okay? Um especially some of you that come in here and you think that you're entitled or that you have some sort of privileged space in which you get to tell me what I say or what I don't say or what I talk about or don't talk about, or if I bring you up to the panel or if I don't. I just want to be very clear on all of those things. You don't tell me shit, right? You don't. Do you want to know why? Because this is my live. This is my live. If you want to determine when someone goes live or what they talk about, go live on your own page. That's what you get to do. This is not difficult. And y'all talking to Troy, I think Troy's a damn bot, y'all. Leave Troy alone. Because as much as they say I'm lying and whatever, they asked me in here. They be in here. That Dani derangement syndrome. Just saying. Right, Shannon, 100%. Look, somebody over here in the comments, the little 19 Democrat, he said, Red Bull is poison. Well, then you should be happy I'm drinking it. Y'all tickle me. Yeah. Let me just, this is just a little extra thing that I will give you. Okay. If you can't determine what I talk about, if you can't tell me what to talk about, you damn sure can't tell me what to drink. Okay. Okay. All right. Something that I do want to talk about because we hear a lot, and the reason, let me lay the foundation for why we're going to talk about this. Okay. Right, Dayglow. So here's the thing. If the United States of America wants me to believe that they give a damn about what we eat and drink, then they will stop deregulating companies, right? And they will allow the EPA and the FDA to actually regulate corporations that are poisoning our water and poisoning our soil and tearing up our cattle and putting PFAS all over the fucking place. Like, if you want me to believe that you give a damn about our food and our drink, then you will go after the corporations that put carcinogens into the air and you put shit in the water and into the ground and PFAS and all of that. Period. So, all right. So I want to talk about something and I want to make some distinctions. Oh, thanks, blessed and grateful. I want to share something and I want to give you parallel sides. Okay. And I'm actually going to do a visual for this. Y'all know I'm a visual kind of girl. So over on one side of my paper, I'm writing Iran. And on the other side of my paper, I'm writing Israel. Okay. Y'all see it? I know it's going to be backwards for you guys, but hold on. Let me drop it for a second. So y'all see, I've got Iran over here and I've got Israel over here. Okay. So things that I want to talk about. What are the claims that have been made about Iran? Iran is people are saying that the IRGC kills innocent people. Can we all agree that that is what some people who are trying to defend Donald Trump initiating this war Yep, chew. That's another one. Hold on. So, okay, hold on. That they kill innocent people. They shouldn't have nuclear weapons because they're dangerous. That they are a terrorist state. Yep, I got that one. Yeah, they chant death to the US and Israel. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about this. Okay? Yeah, well that I put that under the innocent people part, right? Where they kill innocent people. I put that under that part, okay? So, I want to show you something. And James, I see you. I'm going to bring you up. Okay. So, listen. Let's go with me, okay? Y'all ready? Oh, they're talking about Beirut. B action. They're talking about Beirut. All right. So I'm going to play a clip of someone speaking, and I hope I got the right one pulled up. Hold on. Let me see if I got the right one up. Shit. Hold on. You can't hear that one. It's in Arabic. Like that won't help you, will it? Okay, let me see. Like, I'm just saying. Let me see if this is, if he's going to actually, if this is the one. Oh my gosh. Okay, at least this one has captions. Oh, yay. I love that. All right, so listen, this one has captions, so it's okay. All right, so I want to show you all this. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to flip this around so that you all can read the captions. You ready? I'm going to start right here where he is at. Okay, here we go.
אני מציע, ואני אומר את זה בצורה הכי מפורשת. לכבוש את עזה. ולהיות אחראים. יכול וצריך לקדם, זו תוכנית הגירה, עידוד מרצון כמובן, שיאפשר להם ללכת... אתה מאוד שצה"ל יהיה בתוך עזה, ומרצון הם נגרש אותם. וזה מעשי? אודי, בוודאי. אם אנחנו נכריע אותם, בוודאי שזה מעשי. קידום פתרון של עידוד ההגירה של תושבי עזה, אנחנו חייבים לקדם. זה פתרון נכון, צודק, מוסרי, הומני. אני קורא.
Oh shit. That's not the one. Sorry. You get an idea there, but hold on. He wants them all to leave, but hold on. I'm mad that I can't find the one. This is the right one. This is the right one, but it doesn't have captions. So I need the one with captions. Is that the one that I have now? No. Okay, hold on. Let me see if this is the one. Sorry, guys. Where is it? It's not playing. It's not playing. It's not playing. Shit. See, this is going to be, he's going to say it in this one, but I have to dig through all of their other commentary. And I really don't want I don't want their commentary. I just want you to hear what he says. Oh my God. I might have to, you guys, dig through this for just a second. I might have to do this. You love that sticker? I love that you love it. All right. So I guess I'm going to have to, and I don't want to, but I guess I'm going to have to dig through this. And I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. So give me 1 second. Ugh. Yeah. So, and that's the whole reason I want you to have the context, right? I want you to hear what they say, like the person. I want you to hear the person's words, not the commentary of like the people reporting it. Like that's what I'm saying. So say, for example, I don't like to play a clip and then have everybody else's interpretation of what they're saying. I want you to just hear what the person is saying and not what everybody else is saying. And so that's the problem that I have, is that I don't want to hear, for example, I don't want to hear the Young Turks talk about what he said. I want to hear him say it. Does that make sense? Yeah, I want the primary source. So that's what I mean, so that you have the full context from the person who actually said the thing. That's what I want. I don't want anybody else's shit that goes along with it. I just want him saying it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Okay, so I can show you this one. It's going to kind of give you an idea. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to get to cash. We're going to get to cash in a minute. Why is this not playing? Okay. So I'm going to show you this clip because it's going to give you the same sentiment. Hold on. Can you guys see over here? Yes, you can. Love that. All right. So here we go. All right. So I'm going to turn this up and I want you to hear. Yep. We're going to get to cash. We're going to get to cash. All right. Here we go.
כביכול סיוע הזה לילדי עזה. אני אומר לך יותר מזה. כל ילד, כל תינוק בעזה הוא אויב. האויב הוא לא החמאס, והוא גם לא הזרוע הצבאית של החמאס, כמו שהפצ"רית שלנו מספרת לנו שאסור לנו לפגוע בחמאסניק, אלא אם כן הוא חלק מהזרוע הצבאית. כל ילד בעזה הוא האויב. אנחנו צריכים לכבוש את עזה וליישבה, ושלא יישאר שם ילד עזתי אחד. אין ניצחון אחר.
So, I'm going to play it again. And I'm going to read
כביכול סיוע הזה
the aid is supposed to be for the children of Gaza.
כל ילד, כל
I will tell you even
בעזה,
more. Every child, every baby in Gaza is an enemy. The enemy is not Hamas.
זרוע הצבאית של
Hamas's
החמאס,
military wing.
כמו שהפצ"רית שלנו מספרת לנו שאסור לנו לפגוע בחמאסניק, אלא אם כן הוא חלק מהזרוע הצבאית. כל ילד בעזה הוא האויב. אנחנו צריכים לכבוש את עזה וליישבה, ושלא יישאר שם ילד עזתי אחד.
And not leave a single child. There is no other victory. So just so you guys understand, this is what Ben Gvir, this is what the extreme right part of Israeli's government believes. So when people talk about right, and this is Israel, I need to be clear, folks. This is Israel. This is Israel. This is the government of Israel. This is our amazing ally. This is the people that a lot of Americans say is what? God's chosen people. Right? Absolutely, Melinda. So, yeah, well, if I could have found it like right on the spot, I would have happily done that. The one that the Ben Gavir one that I wanted to play you, it's on Israeli TV, but it didn't have the captions. So no one would know what he was saying. Yeah, they all say that. Right? And so this is the point that I want to make. Okay? This is the point that I want to make, folks, is that we do not hold Israel to the same standard that we hold Iran. We do not. If we did, we would not still be arming Israel. And when I say we, I'm talking about our government. I'm talking about the country of the United States. That's what I'm referring to. So when people talk about, oh, well, Iran unalives innocent people, so does Israel. So does the United States of America, by the way. So does the United States of America. We just pass laws that make a lot of the things that we do legal. It doesn't make them morally or ethically correct. It just makes them legal to do. Right? One day we will dig into the statistics of how many innocent people are actually put into jail and put into prison. I'll put it into the link tree. I promise. Today is my day to catch up with all of those things. If you all will give me grace, I will I will give you all one more. I think okay, so I don't need that. Oh, low B. That's not the one that I want. So let me ask you something. If you were not in here yesterday when I talked about what Israel has done in the West Bank when it comes to the water supply for Palestinians, can you put a 1 in the chat for me? If you were not in here yesterday when I talked about Israel and the water supply in the West Bank, put a 1. Okay, a lot of you guys weren't. Okay, so let's talk about that really quickly. Okay, let's talk about that. Because again, when we talk about being a tierist, right? No, not with the cement, not with the cement. That was in Gaza. So in Gaza, they put cement in the sewer systems and the water supply. But no, the West Bank, I'm talking about something entirely different. Okay. So this is a report that came out all the way back in 2017 by hold on one second, by Amnesty International. Okay. And so I will share with you what this report says. So Israel controls in the occupied West Bank, they control about 80 to 85% of the water in the West Bank. And you can even go to the Israeli Information Center for Human Rights, B'Tselem, and they have an article about it as well. So maybe we'll look at both of them. How about that? We'll look at both the Amnesty International article, and then we will look at B'Tselem, because that's Israel's own human rights organization. Okay. All right. So I will show you all. All right. So again, this is the article, and this is from Amnesty International in 2017. All right. The legacy of Israel's 50-year occupation of Palestinian territories has been systematic human rights violations. I'm trying to also make this smaller so y'all can see all of it. Human rights violations on a mass scale. One of its most devastating consequences is the impact of Israel's discriminatory policies on Palestinians' access to adequate supplies of clean and safe water. Soon after Israel occupied the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip in June 1967, the Israeli military authorities consolidated complete power over all water resources and water-related infrastructure in the occupied Palestinian territories. 50 years on, Israel continues to control and restrict Palestinian access to water in the occupied territories to a level which neither meets their needs nor constitutes a fair distribution of shared water resources. In November 1967, the Israeli authorities issued Military Order 158, which stated that Palestinians could not construct any new water installation without first obtaining a permit from the Israeli army. Since then, the extraction of water from any new source or the development of any new water infrastructure would require permits from Israel, which are nearly impossible to obtain. Palestinians living under Israel's military occupation continue to suffer the devastating consequences of this order until today. They are unable to drill new water wells, install pumps, or deepen existing wells, in addition to being denied access to the Jordan River and freshwater springs. Israel even controls the collection of rainwater throughout most of the West Bank. They are not allowed to collect rainwater. And rainwater harvesting cisterns owned by Palestinian communities are often destroyed by the Israeli army. As a result, some 180 Palestinian communities in rural areas in the occupied West Bank have no access to running water, according to OCHA. Even in towns and villages which are connected to the water network, the taps often run dry. While restricting Palestinian access to water, Israel has effectively developed, and this part's important, they have developed their own water infrastructure and water network in the West Bank for the use of its own citizens in Israel and in the settlements that are illegal under international law. So literally, Israel has a segregated water system in the West Bank, where they get an entirely different access to water that Palestinians do not get. So the United States of America, we had segregated water fountains. They have a segregated water system. The Israeli state-owned water company, Morkarat, has systematically sunk wells and tapped springs in the occupied West Bank to supply its population, including those living in illegal settlements, with water for domestic, agricultural, and industrial purposes. While Morkarat sells some water to Palestinian water utilities, the amount is determined by the Israeli authorities. As a result of continuous restrictions, many Palestinian communities in the West Bank have no choice but to purchase water brought in by trucks at a much higher prices, ranging from $4 to $10 per cubic meter. In some of the poorest communities, water expenses can at times make up half of a family's monthly income. Now, this article is from B'Tselem. B'Tselem is Israel's own human rights organization. Do y'all see that? So this is not even Amnesty International. This is B'Tselem, their own human rights organization for the occupied territories. This one was updated in June of 2021, and it talks about in 1967, Israel seized control of all water resources in the occupied territories. To this day, it retains exclusive control over all water resources that lie between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, with the exception of a short section of the coastal aquifer that runs under the Gaza Strip. Israel uses the water as it sees fit, ignoring the needs of Palestinians in the West Bank and in the Gaza Strip to such an extent that both areas suffer from a severe water shortage. In each of them, Residents are not supplied enough water. In Gaza, even the water that is supplied is substandard and unfit for drinking. The right to water and sanitation is a fundamental human right enshrined in international conventions. As Israel is a signatory to these conventions, it is obligated to uphold this right in all the territories it controls. And you will see in the West Bank, 80% of the water. Okay? So this is not Danny Cook's opinion. This is not Amnesty International's opinion. This is not the UN's opinion or anybody else. This is literally the fact from B'Tselem, Israel's own human rights organization. So again, when we talk about Iran and this standard that we are talking about, oh, Iran, they are terrorists. What would you call Israel? What would you call a country that uses water and food as a weapon? What would you call a country that uses water as a weapon? I would say they meet the definition. And that's before we even talk about the 20-some thousand children that they killed over the last 2 years and change. Right. And Israel attacks people preemptively, which means they attack first. So what I want people to stop doing is, because I'm going to tell you what I believe, and this is just my opinion. I believe the driver that people like to distinguish between Iran and Israel, I believe the basis for that prejudice is religion. I believe that they want to demonize Iran because it's Islam and not Israel, because Israel is supposed to be the chosen people. So Christian Zionists get behind that, right? And Jewish Zionists get behind that. And I believe that to be the biggest difference, because it's certainly not about who does the most damage. It's certainly not about who does the most harm. And we do not place the same definitions and expectations on everyone. If we did, we would be holding the British accountable. We would be holding the United States accountable, and we don't. I know. I also know that they have a law that says that they are a Jewish state, and I also know that the Muslims that do exist in Israel do not have the same rights. Neither do the Palestinians. But so are Israelis. It is true. We looked at the law literally just the other day. We literally read the law. Serving in the government doesn't mean anything. Like if I use that standard, that's the same thing that people in the United States say is, well, we had a black president. People think because we had a black president that racism doesn't exist. Right? By your thought process, right? You're like, Muslims serve in Israeli government. We had a black president, and we absolutely still have racism here. I mean, Israel's only been around since 1948. And it's always been this way. The point that you made is you said, the very first thing is you said, that's not true. And then the very next thing you said is Muslims serve in government. And my point is, just because someone serves in the government doesn't mean that they have all the rights as everybody else that's in that country. We have black and brown people. We have Native Americans that serve in government here. Yes, you can be Jewish in Gaza. There are Jews in Gaza and there are Christians in Gaza. Always has been. The point is, just because Black and brown people, or in this case, Muslims, can serve in government does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that those people are treated equally. It's not a thing. So next on the list, we would talk about people saying that Iran must not be allowed to have nuclear weapons, right? So here would be the question that I would ask. Okay, number one, who are we to determine what Iran is or isn't allowed to have? We don't dictate them. They're their own sovereign country, right? And Israel, absolutely, yeah. Israel has nuclear weapons. Iran has allowed inspection of their nuclear facilities. Israel never has. Like, those are just facts. Right. We don't know how many because they don't allow inspectors in. The range is anywhere from 90 to 300. Between 90 to 300. There's a lot of countries that haven't signed the treaties and they still allow themselves to have inspections. You don't have to sign the non-proliferation agreement. Signing the non-proliferation agreement isn't the only reason that you allow inspectors or not allow inspectors. Right. Pakistan and India both have nukes, and India hasn't signed the non-proliferation agreement either. My point is that we do not hold Israel to the same standard that we hold Iran. You don't see the United States of America saying that India is our greatest ally or that Pakistan is our greatest ally. We say that about Israel. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So here's the point that I'm making, right? So the point that I'm making, and I think that you know that this is the point. Okay. I think you know that this is the point. The point is, for example, India has not signed a non-proliferation agreement. India still allows the IAEA to come do inspections, right? Israel has not signed the non-proliferation agreement. Israel has not said publicly, yes, we have nuclear weapons, and Israel does not allow independent inspections from the IAEA, even though everyone knows Israel has nuclear weapons in Dimona. Yeah. So this is the point that I'm making, right? What's the difference? What's up, Robin D? The difference is Islam versus Israel. That's the difference. Now, how many of you all were not in here the other day when we went into a deep dive looking for why Israel is special and why does Israel get these special considerations in the United States of America? If you were not in here the other day, put a 1 in the chat. When we talked about Israel and why is Israel so damn quote unquote special? Why do they get all of these considerations from the United States that nobody else gets? Okay. So is it cool if we go back and connect a few dots? And I'm not going to say I may not have all of the things still pulled up, right? And if I don't, I will get them pulled up and I will put them back in there. Okay. All right. So things that we want to talk about. And so what I wanted to do was I really wanted to go back to see what was the common denominator, right? Like, what made the United States become part of this mission? Because if you remember, if you go all the way back to the Balfour Declaration, right, which first you would have to go back. So listen, when we start to talk about what happened in Palestine, right, we've been talking about, actually, Zah, that's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. Is what is the common denominator as to why we got involved? Because we were not for a while. We were not involved for a while. And so I'm going to bring you up to speed. So first, instead of starting at 1917 with the Balfour Declaration, we would have to go back 2 years to the Sykes-Picot Agreement. So the Sykes-Picot Agreement, right, was between the Brits and the Arab community in the region. Okay. And the agreement between those leaders was basically, with the exception of Egypt and I believe Syria, all of the other regions were going to, well, before that. So hold on, France. We're going to get to France, which is Sykes-Picot later, but you have to go to the one before that. So hold on. So hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on, because I don't have it pulled up again, but So before the 1916 Sykes-Picot Agreement, this is what had happened before that. So before that, the Brits had said to the Arab countries, so the British dude was, whatever his damn name was, McMahon, sorry, Sir Henry McMahon, he pledged the British recognition of an independent Arab state in the Middle East, excluding Syria and Egypt. Okay, so this was the agreement. So the Brits had made an agreement in 1915 with the Arab countries that all of them would be recognized and that the Brits would uphold their independence, right? In exchange for their revolt. Okay. They wanted them to revolt against the Ottoman Empire. And they said, we will acknowledge and uphold your independence as Arab states, with the exception of Egypt and Syria, because you can't say that those are exclusively Arab countries. And that's what we've agreed to. And so that's what they did. Sharif Hussein of Mecca initiated the Arab revolt in 1916, believing that the Brits were going to keep their word. They revolted because they believed they were going to get a vast Arab empire. That's what they believed in 1915. And then in 1916, behind their backs, the Brits and the French made a deal. Sykes-Picot, that's the deal, in which they made a little deal between the two of them and said, hey, you can have this and you can have that and whatever. And so the Arab countries were pissed, as they should have been, because they violated the agreement that they had with them. The Brits did, right? So that's 1916. So you have to go all the way back and understand that this is why they are pissed, because they were told that if you revolt against the Ottoman Empire, then you are going to be an independent Arab nation, and we will respect your independence, acknowledge it, and we will help uphold it. And then the Brits turned around and made a deal with France and said, hey, let's make our own deal, right? So then we would talk about Sykes-Picot. I'll tell you what they said, because I did have all this pulled up the other day when I talked about it. But it was a secret convention that was made during World War I in May of 1916, and the time frames are important. And it was between Great Britain and France, with the assent of Russia for the dismemberment of the Ottoman Empire, right? And so they divided up the Ottoman Empire that was held by the Turkish folks. They divided up Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and Palestine into various French and British administered areas. How crazy is that? So the Brits are lying to the Arabs and saying, if you will revolt against your Turkish government, we will accept your independence and we will help you uphold it. Meanwhile, the Brits are talking to the French and Russia, and they're saying, you know what? Nah, you don't got to do that. We're gonna divide them up into these 4 different areas, and you're gonna take control of this, and we're gonna take control of that. So that's 1916. And then you get to 1917, and then you get to the Balfour Declaration. And this part's really important, right? If you don't know what the Balfour Declaration is, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't know what the Balfour Declaration is, put a 1 in the chat. Because I understand that not everybody knows. And even though we talk about it in here a lot, I want to bring everybody up to speed. Okay, so the Balfour Declaration, it's in my link tree, by the way. It is a document between Lord Balfour and Lord Rothschild. And that is Lord Rothschild's of the Rothschilds, okay? Lord Rothschild of the Rothschilds was a leader in the Zionist movement, in the Zionist Federation. And at the time, there was a big push in Britain for Zionism to become the thing. And there were even people in the British government that were Zionists, okay? So when Lord Rothschild petitions the British government and asks them to establish a national home for Jews in Palestine, they agree. And the Balfour Declaration actually says, I'm letting you know that His Majesty views with favor your desire, right, to establish a national home for Jews in Palestine. And then he says that they will endeavor to ensure that they help create this. And then get this, at the very end of the Balfour Declaration, Lord Balfour actually says to Lord Rothschild, please make sure that you tell the Zionist Federation this information. So I need for you all to understand that there is a distinct difference between Judaism and Zionism. Zionism is a political ideology that has nothing to do with Judaism. It was the Zionist Federation that desired to establish this. And before they wanted to establish this Jewish home in Palestine, they considered, like, there were several different proposals before that. There was a proposal to put this home for Jewish people, this national home for Jewish people in Uganda, in Argentina, in New York, right? So Palestine was not the first place that they considered. So this idea that it's all about coming back to their homeland isn't accurate. It's not backed up by the facts. Because my question is, and I asked this to the Israeli boy that I talked to 2 days ago, I said, if this is about returning back to your Jewish homeland, so tell me why you all considered putting it in Argentina and in Uganda and in New York, right? To which he didn't have an answer, okay? And that's okay. So now here's the key. Here's the part that's not in the Balfour Declaration. So part of this is about World War One, because at this stage of the game, World War One is getting really expensive. Hey, River Ray, good to see you. So World War One is starting to become a burden on the Brits. Y'all follow me? And at this stage, guess what? The United States of America isn't in World War One. We're not in World War One in November of 2017 at all. Okay. So Lord Balfour says, hey, yes, we can do this thing. By the way, will you do me a favor? And will you convince the Americans to get involved with World War One, since we're going to help you establish a national homeland for Jews in Palestine? And my thought was, why would America do such a thing? Do you know what I found out? The reason why the United States of America would do that, because Lord Rothschild asked them to. Because the Rothschilds are who actually built the vast majority of the beginning of the United States of America. Our railway stations, the initial part of the subway station in New York, their specialty was loaning money to governments. We had a tremendous amount of loans, governmental loans, that came from the Rothschilds. That's where the money came from. So we were obligated. The Rothschilds at that time, right? Their specialty was government loans. Yes, there are CIA files on this. The same way that there are CIA files about what we did in Iran. So I really want people to understand, and we did. So listen, so in January of 2018, in January of 1918 is when everything gets finalized and established, like it's a go. And we asked, not we, but the Rothschilds asked the United States to join. And then in April of 1918, we joined World War One. Isn't that crazy? But that's why. That was the common denominator: governmental loans and significant investments in the United States. Well, I guess we needed to, because they were holding all of our loans. At this time, we already had one of the head guys, August is his name. He was here. He had already gotten a place for their business on Wall Street. And he was already managing things and managing the Rothschilds transactions in the United States for them. So that was already a thing that was happening. It's the money. And so that was the common denominator between the United States of America, the British, and Israel. So while I think that is a combination of different things, why we still fund Israel today, I would imagine it has a lot to do with Christian Zionism. We have a huge population of Christian Zionists in the United States of America. And those Christian Zionists also happen to be some of the richest people in this country. Right? So I think it's a combination between money and political ideology that gets tied to religion, whether that religion is Jewish Zionism or Christian Zionism. Either way, it is Zionism. What do I think would have to happen for us to quit funding Israel? I think we would have to have maybe even a supermajority in Congress, or at least a really strong progressive minority in Congress in order to get that passed. And the other thing that I have said, so I want people to understand, when we talk about overturning Citizens United. Citizens United is a court case, right? And finding the right case to end up before the Supreme Court to have it, quote unquote, overturned takes time. So in my opinion, the easiest way to have the same impact as overturning Citizens United is to write legislation that effectively nullifies the findings for Citizens United. So we need to craft legislation that identifies corporations as businesses. They are not people, and they are not entitled to the same fundamental rights as human beings, right? That is one of the first things that we would need to put into law. And so we need to be electing people that are willing to do that type of legislation. And then that's how you get the dark money out of politics. That's how you get the heavy money out of politics. And then you close the loopholes within campaign finance laws. Well, so Za, here's the thing. If you take a look at the two pieces of legislation that just went forward around funding Israel, I don't know that you can say that, right? And I do believe that there is, so what I believe is happening right now for the Democratic Party is I believe that we are at the beginning of the progressive takeover of the Democratic Party, the same way that MAGA took over the Republican Party. I see a really strong movement that is happening amongst progressives that are running and caucusing as Dems. Yeah, I know, Hakeem. So I just think it's really important for people to understand how we got to where we are and the connections. Connecting the dots is so important. Because let me tell you something, folks. When people understand that the money is what got us to this place, the really, really rich people thinking about really, really rich people, it will bring the rest of us together. I don't care what Robert said. Thomas, I don't care what Thomas said. I don't care. I literally, hey, Dolphin, I literally give zero fucks about Clarence Thomas. Until his ass is in jail, I don't give a shit about Clarence Thomas. So, Za, did you read what she wrote about that particular bill? And if you didn't, I would encourage you to do so. Because that's the first thing I did, is I went to see what she said about it and then look on the damn bill. So, again, and let me just say this. What I find a lot of the time is that people that are critical of ideas, or people that want to put up roadblocks about ideas, are people that aren't actually doing anything to bring about change. Right? That's what I find. Is the people that throw up roadblocks to every positive piece of information are people that talk about why nothing else will work, but yet they don't have any ideas themselves. And they're not doing any work themselves. They are literally criticizing from the stands because they're not on the court. They're not playing. Right? And to the person who asked me, what did she say? No, that was an overall statement. I'm here every day, Za. I'm here every day, and I hear people say the same things. And by the way, I'm also live on Facebook, Substack, YouTube, Twitch, and IG. I'm also live over there. I don't know, Blue Honey Pot. So for the person who asked me, what did AOC say? It's a really long statement. I'm not going to read it. But literally, if you just Google AOC statement on Israel funding, you'll pull the whole thing up. Okay. So the thing that I really wanted to pull out is that we don't hold Israel to the same standard. Damn near everything that you can say, not everything, but much of what you can say that is negative about the IRGC, which I agree is negative about the IRGC, is also true of Israel. And I would argue that Israel's attacks are on people that are on innocent people that they don't even have anything to do with for their own things. Appreciate you, Linda, for the reminder, because I have a hard stop today at 1:00. Okay. I want to see if I have time today. There was so much that I wanted to get to today. Hold on. I'm going to share part of this with you all, and maybe if I don't get done with it, we can dig into it later. But how many of you all have heard that? What did I miss? What's the country that's fighting Zionism by force? What country or government is fighting Zionism by force, Zah? Well, I want to give Zah a chance to respond. Zah, the question that I'm asking you is, what country is it that you say is fighting Zionism by force? Who is that? What's up, Jamaican Beauty? And for some reason, I can't see any comments over here right now, so I don't know what the deal is. Hey, Shanna. Yeah. So Zah, I don't see you answering. You guys, if Zah answers, can somebody let me know that she answered? Because I don't know who she's speaking about. I don't know. I don't think so. To be honest, I don't think so. Good morning, Packard. All right. So I want to talk for just a second about our involvement in Iran, and also that 26-year period under the Shah when we installed the Shah as prime minister. Okay. And the reason why I want to talk about that, hey, Kate, The reason why I want to talk about that is because it's important for people to understand that even beyond what we did in 1953, right? What happened as a result? What happened as a result of what we did wasn't just about, oil and BP and the Brits. It was also about what happened under the leadership of the Shah. It's also about his kind of enforcement agency that we helped create. So I don't know how many of you all know that the CIA is directly responsible for helping the SAVAK be created. That's the SAVAK. Right? What's up, Ro? So I want to show you all, not that. This is what I get for having so much shit up. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong browser. All right. So I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's long, but I'm going to put it in the link tree for you. It's really crazy when you understand what the SAVAK did. Okay. So, okay. So we're going to talk about 1953, 100% Dolphin. So 1953, everybody knows at this point, I hope, that's exactly where Brie gets her million tabs from. Her mama. Okay. So, and I have a million tabs in 3 different browsers right now. But so 1953, we team up with the Brits, the CIA and MI6, overthrow the Iranian government. And then we install Mohammad Reza Pahlavi as the Shah. Okay. He's the Shah. We make him the leader of Iran. And he was very amicable with westernizing Iran. All right. So listen to this. He in turn employed any means necessary to solidify his throne and advanced Washington, D.C.'s national security interests, alienating and repressing the Iranian people. The most useful tool in this repression was a Gestapo-like security organization called the SAVAK, an unnatural hybrid monstrosity that ultimately undermined the dual interests it served, neither of them the Iranian people. So this is from Columbia. This is what I'm reading. It's from the University of Columbia. Amnesty International reported in 1974, quote, "No country in the world has a worse record in human rights than Iran under the Shah's rule." Yet only 3 years later, on New Year's Eve of 1977, U.S. President Jimmy Carter met with the Shah of Iran as a testament to the well-established relationship between the two countries. President Carter, accompanied by his wife, Rosalind, enjoyed an elaborate dinner with the Shah and his wife, Farah Pahlavi. Despite reports like Amnesty International's, President Carter and the United States media hailed the Shah as a liberal reformer on track to transform Iran into a secular state that mirrored Western ideals. In retrospect, Carter's toast is remembered as one of his greatest diplomatic blunders. As Carter raised a glass to honor his host, the Shah, with his stomach full of all the luxuries typical of a royal feast, Carter stated, quote, "Iran, because of the great leadership of the Shah, is an island of stability in one of the more troubled areas of the world," end quote. Now, we all know right after that is when the Islamic Revolution took place. Now, listen at this. While the United States praised the Shah's leadership, the Shah's security apparatus, the SAVAK, funded and created by the CIA, worked hard to manufacture a cult of fear through the torture and surveillance of everyday Iranian people. Along with the CIA, Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad, also assisted, enabled, and enhanced the Savak's repressive capabilities. So I want you all to remember, everybody's mad because Iranians say death to the United States, death to Israel. Listen to what I just said. The Savak that actually did all of these human rights violations to the Iranian people under the Shah was created by the CIA, right? And Israel's intelligence agency, the Mossad, also assisted, enabled, and enhanced their repressive capabilities. It's wild. So listen at this. Give me 1 second. The Shah was responsible for a litany of heinous crimes, including political repression, kidnapping, torture, and many more. Savak was instrumental in carrying out these human rights violations at the Shah's demand with CIA instruction and assistance. By all measures, the Shah's oppression of his people is to blame for the Iranian Revolution. However, the aid given by the United States made the Shah's regime far more capable of taking oppressive action. Moreover, the Shah's security organization, Savak, served both the United States and the Shah's interests with Iran. Therefore, this vessel of repression is a physical manifestation or embodiment of the relationship's unnatural and contradictory elements deserving of research. So when people say that what the IRGC is doing is horrible, and I agree, these things are horrible, I want you all to understand that there was also another regime that we put in place. We overthrew their democratically elected leadership. We did this to the Iranian people. And so not only did they suffer under the Shah, they still suffer today because of the United States and because of the Brits' interference. And why did we interfere? For money, for oil, for the Brits. I wouldn't like us either. If we are being just honest, if you were an Iranian, you would hate us too. They have suffered since 1953 because of us. We did this. You got to go back to where it all began. Appreciate it, Wawa. And folks, listen, what I'm saying isn't anti-American. What I'm saying is the most patriotic thing that you can say. Because in order to be a great country, you have to be able to acknowledge the wrongs that you've committed. In order to be truly great, we have to acknowledge the things that we have done. And then we have to be about the business of correcting them. And that doesn't mean forcing our ideologies and our culture on anybody else. That's not what it means. It means creating diplomatic solutions and giving people space to correct course. Right back at you, Leah. I don't know why we don't understand this by now, but we cannot bully any country into the Middle East into doing what we want. We have tried for decades, and it has never worked out in our favor. It has never worked out. And so at some point, you would think that we would stop engaging in this behavior. Thanks, Kate. Hey, Burke. So, sorry, guys. I haven't eaten, so. All right. Oh, my Lord. I'm pulling up all the things. We do. We do, in fact, complain about other countries interfering. I need to get to the last. Oh, okay. And this is the one that I must do because yesterday when I heard someone trying to justify us initiating a war on Iran, they brought up the fact that Iran had killed 13 Americans, right? And I want to talk about countries that kill Americans, okay? And I actually want to talk about one country in particular. Thanks, Witch. What do you mean, have they done any better? What they have today is a result of us. What they have today is a result of us. But I'm gonna go over and I'm not gonna go all the way back. Listen, I'm not gonna go all the way back to 1967 because that's when Israel killed 34 of our military people on the USS Liberty. I'm not gonna do that. I want to actually start in the 2000s. Okay, you ready? I'm going to give you the name and the year. Okay. Rachel Corrie, 2003. Rachel was 23 years old when she placed her tiny little blonde-haired body in between a bulldozer and a Palestinian home. And the Israeli man on that bulldozer ran her over. I'm going to say that again. An Israeli on a bulldozer ran her over. Okay. Next, and of course I lost my place. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to Firkin Dogan, who's also an American citizen, who was killed May 31st of 2010. Oh, nothing's happened as a result of any of these Americans. These are American citizens killed by Israel. So Firkin Dogan in 2010, killed by Israel, age 18. Age 18. Listen to this. This U.S. citizen, oh, thanks, Triplet. This U.S. citizen and 5 Turkish citizens were murdered execution style by Israeli commandos. Yeah. So there was an investigation, there was a fact-finding mission by the UN Commissioner for Human Rights, which, if you don't know, the President of the United States has removed us from the UN Human Rights Commission. I don't know if you all know that or not. He removed us in his first administration, and he has removed us again under the second administration after Joe Biden put us back in. So I'm just going to read this report verbatim, okay? The report reveals that Dogan was filming with a small video camera on the top deck of the Mavi Marmara when he was shot twice in the head, once in the back and in the left leg and foot, and that he was shot in the face at point blank range while lying on the ground. And this is by Israeli forces. Next, Mahmoud Shalan, age 16. Okay. So, and this occurred, hold on one second, February 26th, 2016. Okay. So he was a Palestinian American teenager, 16 years old, and he went for a walk in the West Bank. He usually went for a walk in the West Bank because he has rheumatism, which of course affects joints and muscles. So he was born in Florida. He's in the West Bank, and he's in the little village in the West Bank, and he's going for a walk. And he had on a black North Face hoodie and blue jeans, and he started down the path. And it's toward Alberta. It adjoins Ramallah, where his aunt lived. And so it usually took about an hour, right? He was a high school student. But around 4:15, right, he approached the 2-lane checkpoint. Y'all know there's checkpoints everywhere. And of course, they dispute this, right? The dispute is that the soldier told him to stop and turn back. And instead of immediately following orders, he made gestures to show that he wanted to go to Ramallah. And he lifted up his hurt and hands as if to show the soldier he was not in any danger. And the witnesses say that he began to go back, but the soldier that was standing 6 to 10 feet away shot him multiple times. And so the witnesses said, quote, he was shot when his hands were up. And these witnesses provided testimony to B'Tselem. So that's a 16-year-old Palestinian American born in Florida that was killed by Israeli soldier 2016. Omar Assad, age 78 years of age, killed by Israel, January 12th, 2022. And I'm not going to be able to read this whole thing. This is an article in Reuters from April 2024. And he has an 81-year-old widow because she was hoping to still see justice served against the Israeli soldiers that killed her husband in the occupied West Bank. So he was a dual Palestinian U.S. citizen. And he was detained by the IDF, and then he ended up suffering a heart attack. He was coming home when this happened. Now, this one is also on video. This is Shireen Abu Akleh. She is a American journalist. She was killed May 11th, 2022. By Israeli occupation forces. She was 51 years of age, and she was pressed. She was literally targeted. You can watch the video of when they targeted her. Yeah, like for real. I've seen this video and I've watched it more than one time. Tafik Ajak, January 19th, 2024. Murdered by Israeli settlers in the West Bank. He was 17 years of age. Yep, Hakeem, that's her. So that's a 17-year-old I just named, murdered by Israeli settlers in the West Bank, January 19th, 2024. Mohammed Kaddour, also 17 years old, murdered by Israeli occupation forces. That would be the IDF. February 20th, 2024. February 10th, 2024. Yeah, I know, too. I saw it yesterday. Jacob Flickinger, age 33, murdered by Israeli occupation forces, April 1st, 2024. Senor, I don't know. I know I'm messing up her name, but she's 26 years old, Palestinian American, murdered by Israeli occupation forces, September 6th, 2024. Kamal Ahmed Jawad, age 56, murdered by Israeli bombing in Lebanon, October 1st, 2024. Yes, I can. Amir Mohammed Sadah Rabi, age 14, murdered by Israeli occupation forces, April 6th, 2025. I'm going to repeat this. Amir Mohammed Sadah Rabi, American citizen, murdered by Israeli forces, April 6th, 2025. Safala Musalet, age 20 years old, murdered by Israeli settlers, July 11th, 2025. I'll put it in the link tree, Yvonne. Kamis Ayad, also a Palestinian American, age 40 years old, murdered by Israeli settlers, July 31st, 2025. Nasrallah Abu Saim, 19 years old, also an American citizen, murdered by Israeli settlers, February 18th, 2026. Tell me again how Israel is our greatest ally. Tell me again I just tell me again. I literally just walked you through an entire list of Americans killed by Israel. And I didn't even name the ones from 1967. Like I didn't even start there. I started in 2003 and moved forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And not in the middle of a war. We weren't at war with them. I'm going to put it up there, CD. Since October 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them since October 7th of 2023. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Nance. Hey, Teresa. Folks, I am not saying that every Israeli person is horrible. I could never say that. The same way I hope people don't judge us by our government, by our country, right? What I would challenge everybody in this country to do is to take a look at your views and examine what they are based on. Are they based on actual facts and reality? Or are they based on religion or political ideology? That's literally what, well, Audra, I won't even say not just Bibi and his military. The same way that other people in other countries would absolutely have an issue with the people that support the things that this country does, right? I can imagine that there are people in Iran that are pissed off at all the Americans that support what this administration is doing, right? I mean, Katrina, I don't ever think about that kind of stuff because I don't spend my energy focused on things that might happen at some point in time, especially when they're negative. I put the majority of my time and energy into becoming extremely well informed so that we can make the right choices moving forward, right? And doing something about the position that we are in, right? And so for me, that looks like Project for the People. That looks like all of the things that we are doing. So for those of you all who do not know, I spent the first 2 months of this year putting together a project specifically geared towards getting people to have conversations in their communities with their neighbors, not about Democrats and Republicans, but about policy, right? But about policy and about the things that are happening that impact you, right? Thanks, Linda. And that all of that included, I went through and I did 5 years of federal election data for 12 states. And then every county in those states that had margins of 10% or less, and putting that together in an entire database so that we know where can we make gains, where can we flip seats, where can we flip counties, where can we build power, right? And then it was building an entire database of resources for you all to be able to use in your communities to bring about conversations, whether that's in person or whether that's through posting on your social medias. Got it? So I'm going to ask this question. If you have never seen the graphics and the resources that I've created for people that want to be a part of this, put a 1 in the chat. If you have never seen the database of resources, put a 1 in the chat. Yeah, Jay Louise, there's going to be an email that goes out with the link to the recording. Okay, Lilianne, I see you. Anybody else in here that's never seen it? That means some of y'all been in here a lot. Linda, you know you've seen it, but I appreciate the 1. So everybody else that is watching, I'll be amazed at this. Oh, other people have? Okay. Because I was like, really, y'all? But that would be amazing if everybody had already seen it. That would be like, I'd be like, holy shit. Okay. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. All right. So let me ask Lilianne, can you tell me what state you're in and what congressional district you live in? Can you tell me what state you're in and what congressional district you live in? Ohio, what's your congressional district? Make sure I don't miss it, you guys, while I'm pulling this up. I saw Ohio, Lilianne, but I didn't see a congressional district. Not sure you just moved? Okay. All right. So we'll just pick one. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is the database that I've made available for people to be able to use in your communities, to have conversations, to make sure people are informed. So if anybody else wants to drop a state in your congressional district, let me know. But I'm going to go to Ohio. Okay. And I'm going to show you Ohio, and we'll just pick District 4 because that's where I am. And I have them in English and in Spanish. All right. So watch. I'll do California 49 next. All right. So look, this is your Medicaid. So 24,000 children and adults are projected to lose their Medicaid health insurance coverage by 2034. And this is directly because of the bill. So these are graphics that I've designed for you to use, right? This is 18,000 people are projected to lose some or all of their SNAP because of the same thing. Hey, Wasim. Michigan District 4. Now, this is specifically about the ACA enhanced premium tax subsidies that did not get extended, right? 25,000 people are going to become uninsured specifically because of that. So this is information that I put together for all 50 states, right? Why? So that people can go out and share this information with people in their communities and generate conversations. It's not about saying vote for a progressive. It's about saying, hey, did you know that this is a thing, right? Do you know anybody that is, do you know anybody that has SNAP? Do you know anybody that has, Medicaid, right? So if I go to California and I go to California 49, Medicaid covers 40% of all births in California, and 18,000 adults are going to lose adults and children will lose their Medicaid, right? SNAP benefits, 7,000. So why did I put this together, you guys? Not so I could sit on TikTok and put in everybody's city and or put it together, everybody's state and congressional district. That's not why, right? The reason I put this together is because I want you to be equipped, for you to have conversations with the people in your community. Because our communities are disconnected from each other. And that is part of the problem, right? So this is Michigan District 1. 22,000 people are going to lose their Medicaid by 2034 because of the one big barbaric bill. 21,000 people are going to lose some or all of their SNAP benefits, again, because of the bill. And 28,000 people are going to become uninsured because we did not extend those premium tax health subsidies. And this is important stuff, folks, for people to know. And so one of the reasons I took the time to put together this database, and I've been working on graphics, good God, I don't even know, right? But it is because, there's flippable. So listen, when I do the counties, so hold on, I got you, dog beautician. So let me just tell you, when I did election data, I started with the 12 counties that had margins of 10% or less in 2024. And then I did every county in those states that had margins of 10% or less for all federal elections, or the majority of federal elections, for the last 5 years. Okay. But the key is this, right? So, dog beautician, the way that you join Project for the People is you go to my bio, right? And my link tree is there. The very first link in my link tree is the link to join the movement. Now, let me just say this to you all. As much as you want this information, it's probably as much as your neighbors would want it. This isn't just about, how do I find out what affects me? It's how do I find out so that I can inform my neighbors? So the first time we did a day of action, right? We had people that have signed up in this community they went out into their neighborhoods and they put flyers up on community boards and in grocery stores and at libraries. I had one woman took her friend out to brunch, had flyers with her and talked about the project and talked about the statistics, right? That's how we bridge the gap. That is how we get our neighbors talking to us again, not about Democrats and Republicans, but about what's actually impacting us, right? So to date, let me see if I can show you all. I can. Look at that. I left it up. Go me. So right now, we've only been at this for 5 weeks. I've just been telling people about it for 5 weeks because it took me the first 2 months or so of this year to even get it together, right? But we have currently, we represent 46 states and 318 counties. We have at least one person in 46 states and 318 counties. There are only 3,100 counties in the entire country. Okay? So that means we represent 10% of the counties in this country. So if you want to be around like-minded people, if you want to come to meetings and workshops where we practice role playing, when we talk about how to have conversations with people, this is what you want to be a part of. This is what we do. Last night, oh my God, I was so excited because last night we set up here and we went through, for example, we went through Washington. So this is the state of Washington. So I showed them how many people in Washington were in the counties, which counties they were. And then people were like, oh my God, you're in this county? I'm in this county. Like there's 4 people in Sonomish. So today, those 4 people will get, either today or tomorrow, they will get an email that says, hey, all 4 of you all are in the same county. And then people were planning about how to get together with each other, right? When we got to Illinois, when we got to, North Carolina too. So when we got into North Carolina, we got 29 people in the state of North Carolina. And people were like, oh, well, I'm in Durham and I'm over here and this is near there and this is not there. And so we can all get together and we can do this and we can do that. I went to Missouri and people were like, oh, I'm close to green. I'm close to this. I'm close to that. Yep. And people are actually getting together and saying, oh, so let's figure out the best time and I'll take off work and I'll come there and we'll go out into communities together. You understand? And so what this is us doing something about it. It's not just complaining about what the hell is going on, but it's doing something about it. And it's doing something about it based on what's actually happening to our healthcare. We've got some that are about to start that talk about education, right? And all of those. So this is literally about, I mean, it's great. I love that you tune in and listen to me. I also would love for you to become a part of this and get in how it fits you. So if you are somebody that wants to go knock on doors or go to the flea market, the farmer's market, you want to go to the fair, you want to go, down to the park and talk to people and give them flyers, then that's for you. If you are somebody that is physically disabled and can't get out and you're just like, but I'll take those graphics and I'll post it on my social media and I'll send it to my friends, love that. Fucking love that. Get in and do what you can do where you can do it. But the bottom line is all of it is a win because you're actually giving information that people need to know. People do not understand what is happening. And so we have to make sure that people are informed. And I think the same way that all of you were like, oh my God, tell me about this state. Tell me about this district. Tell me about this state. Tell me about this district. I bet your neighbors want to know too. And listen, let me just say this, you guys. It's not about whether you're talking to a Republican or a MAGA or a Dem. It's not about that. So, Jennifer, once you've signed up to be part of the project, then I think 2 emails ago, So not the meeting about last night's meeting, but the last one, there was a link to the drive that has all the info. And listen, all I ask is that you operate in integrity. Everything is copywritten, right? I've got my watermarks on it. Please do me a favor. Thanks, Michelle. And like operate with integrity. Don't take my watermarks off because I did the work. You know what I mean? That's all I ask. Yeah, so the education will be next, Katzmandu. Education will be next. We started with healthcare. And then we have education. Okay? But listen, so this was my thing. Go down the street to your neighbor, knock on the door and said, hey, listen, I just want to let you know, I found some great information about our district and the number of people that are going to lose their Medicaid in the coming years. So if you know anybody on Medicaid, this will be some great information for them. Boom. You give it to them, you leave them alone, and you say, oh, and if you want to have if you need to have any other information, you can scan that QR code and join our meetings. And then that's it. And then you leave. What's up, somebody's mama? You understand? It's not about convincing anybody. It's about informing people and equipping people and inviting people. My goal is to have people become connected over the issues, over the things that matter to them, right? To become connected based on the things that impact all of us. So that by the time we get to September and October and it's time to vote, people are actually voting based on those issues, based on those policies, and not based on party. Will it be everyone? No. But damn it, it'll be more than before. We've got 6-7 months to make an impact. And so that's the question. What's up, Brett? Good to see you. I appreciate the raid. I'm actually only going to be on for like 15 more minutes. So I love that you guys are raiding. And Brett, I should probably get with you at some point to tell you about the Project for the People thing that we're doing over here. It's crazy because we have, what do we have? We have 710 people that have registered in 5 weeks. We represent 46 states in the country and 318 counties. So I love that. Welcome, Brett's piece. Yeah, we got to get together, Brett, because so let me just show you my map. I got to show you my map real quick, just so you can be like, holy fuck. This is us. And because I want to equip people with information that matters to them. So these are all the people. And I'll just give you a brief showing, Brett, of what I've created. So Brett, give me I know your state is Texas. What congressional district are you in? What congressional district are you in, Brett? You love Brett? Yeah, we love Brett. Yeah, which this is the new map. I just haven't updated the numbers. Yeah, girl, time does fly. We have about 7 months. Did Brett say what congressional district he's in, or did I miss it? 14? Okay, got you. So watch this, Brett. I created this database for the entire country, and it's growing. All right. So all 50 states are here. And if I go to Texas, and I have it in English and in Spanish for every congressional district, I'm going to go to 14 and look at this. So this is how many people are going to lose Medicaid in Texas District 14 by 2034 because of the bill. 50,000. And this is the number for SNAP. They're going to lose some or all of their SNAP benefits. I've done this in English and in Spanish for all 50 states, and there's more graphics that are also being created. I'm about a third of the way. And what we do is we actually meet. We hop on Google Meet together. We role play how to have conversations. We print these out. We post them on our social media. We use the same hashtags. Yeah, Fax and I have already talked about it. We gotta have a chat. But so this is what we're doing, is getting people out into their communities. People put these up in their grocery stores and in their libraries and all the things, because the idea is to give people information that actually matters to them so that they can vote accordingly, right? And so this weekend we're having another weekend of action. So the link to join is in my link tree, right? It's the first link in my link tree. And then you'll get an email from me. And then you have access. Now, here's what's cool is I actually give you, here's the source links in English and in Spanish. So if people want to know where the data came from, or if they want their Medicaid data, and this is the Congressional Budget Office's estimate. This is for the new ones, because I don't want people to just take my word for it. I want people to know this is where the information came from. So this is the idea. There's also North Carolina. I'm working on new stuff for you. So there's like a different thing, but there's more than just those 2 graphics available. So like, who have I already done? I know I've already done Michigan. So I'll just show you Michigan. And this is like, so remember when they didn't extend the ACA enhanced premium tax subsidies? This is specifically because of that. This only refers to the tax subsidies. Because they didn't extend them, 28,000 people in Michigan Congressional District are going to become uninsured, specifically because of those tax subsidies. And so I'm doing these graphics for all 50 states too. I've done them for, and I do them in English and in Spanish. So I've done them for about a third of the country. So the idea, Brett, is for us to work together. I don't just want to be on social media talking about all this stuff. I want us to team up to do something. And what I believe, I really do believe this, is that if more people had the actual information about what's really happening, they would be able to overcome things. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate that. So that's the goal. So all of Brett's folks, including you, Brett, if you all want to become part of Project for the People and have access to the graphics and join us on Google Meet, then just go to my link tree that's in my bio and click it to join. You'll get an email from me, Dani. You'll get a link to like our webinar, our previous meetings, and a link to the Google Drive, right? But we literally role play together. Because there are people that are like, I'm nervous. I don't know how to have a conversation. I don't know what to say if I knock on people's door. And so we role play and we practice. And, and I just tell people, listen, be honest and say, this is outside of my comfort zone, but it's really important. It's not about convincing people based on party. It's about giving people issues, information that's important to them. And so that's what this is about. And then we use, the email is in April 10th. With the drive. You got it, Jennifer. And so the idea is to continue to grow. So I did all of this and a little bit more that I didn't show you guys right now, right? The first 2 months of this year. And then I wrote a playbook. That's kind of the same way they wrote Project 2025. I wrote Project for the People because people kept saying to me, well, what can we do about it? What can we do? And so I wanted to give us something that we could do and be impactful doing. So if you are interested, that is the way to find out. What do you mean? Thank you, Brett. Yeah. So listen, no one should be giving out the link to the Google Drive. No one should be giving out that link. Yeah, no. So no one should be giving out the Google Drive link at all. It should just be the graphics that you send to people. Send the graphics. And if people want to join, there's a link to the flyer that's in my link tree, and there's a link to the page where people can join in the link tree as well. I hope that makes sense. Yep, the graphics. And all the flyers have QR codes for people to join. Okay. So I love the fact that you guys rated. I hate that I'm getting off so early. It's because I have a 1 o'clock appointment with the VA. So that's why I'm not staying on. I wish I was, but I love the Brett folks and I appreciate you guys for coming. Thank you, Nance. Yeah, so that's it. If you have questions about Project for the People, folks, or whatever, join me the next live and I will be happy to answer them. Because I think what I'm going to do is hold a special live that's at a different time. Micah, you can watch it. I'm live on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Substack right now. So you can go back and watch it on one of those. And if you have questions, we are more than happy to answer them. You can join the Discord and we'll answer them. And Brett, maybe you and I can get together and come up with some statistics and information around the Second Amendment, around 2A, right? I think that would be awesome to do as well. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Love you, mean it. I am going to run and I will see you guys definitely I think so too, Cam. We will get together tomorrow. Okay. Love you, mean it, folks. I will see you all later. If you attended last night's meeting or you've already joined Project for the People, keep an eye out for the email from me because it will have the link to last night's recording and all the other things. Okay.